she deserves compensation for the work that she did for him in his career. I swear to God. Because like when she came out and was like, oh my God, he's so hot. And like she just talked him up so much that like now everyone was like, ooh, maybe I should call Pete Davidson.
Hello, clowns.
I'm Ami.
I'm Yu Chen, and we're the hosts of Clown Vibes Podcast.
We're two best friends who are chronically online and get together weekly to laugh and discuss all the clown behavior we see on the internet.
And there's so much.
Truly so much.
We're so glad to have you here to clown around with us, and we hope you enjoy the episode. Hello, Clown Vibes. Welcome to another guest episode on Clown Vibes. We are so excited today because we have Olivia. Our guest today is an icon on TikTok. Olivia creates videos in all things pop culture and fashion. Her breadth of pop culture knowledge has no end. And I started following her because, well, honestly, she's a little snarky, which we love on Clown Vibes. Welcome to the pod, Olivia.
Hey, everyone. It's so fun to be here. I'm excited. I moved and we've been trying to schedule this, so I'm happy to finally be here and sit down and like talk shit and shoot the shit with you guys.
Yes, we get moving issues. It shouldn't be as hard as it is.
The worst part about moving, I know I'm like off topic now, like it's all the like little trinkets and like doodads that you have to pack. That is the most annoying part because like every time you turn around, it's like something else is there to pack. So irritating. But anyways.
I haven't moved in 2 years now, which is the most that I have never moved. I don't know if that's like scary or sad, but like I am scared for all the little pieces of like cardboard that I have from like years of accumulation. I always say like the next time I move, I'm just going to have to pay someone to like pack everything up.
Absolutely. It's like, it's too much to do. Yeah, it is.
Olivia, we would love to get to know you and like kind of understand like what do you do? Do you consider yourself a full-time influencer, a full-time content creator? How would you describe where you are in your life right now?
You know, it's a transitional period. I would like to be like full-time Alex Earl kind of money content creator.
Us too.
But yeah, at this point, it's just kind of like, yeah, I guess more so full-time content creator than it was in the beginning. I think I've now started to get to a place where I can do that. So yeah, like not like Alex Earl money. I wish, like for sure.
How did you get into content creation? Like, was TikTok your first form of social media? And how, like, what was your first video?
It was so random. It was like, I watched The Bachelor. And so I remember I just made like a random video about The Bachelor. And like a few people saw it. And then I just started talking about that season. And then I started talking about the clothes in that season. And then it just developed from there. I started talking about pop culture stuff, other fashion stuff. And now here we are.
Are you watching The Golden Bachelor?
I am. I missed last night's episode, okay. So after this, I'm going to go watch that. But yeah, I am watching The Golden Bachelor. I'm watching Bachelor in Paradise. Yeah, so far it's been, I actually really like The Golden Bachelor.
I've heard good things.
It's like, it surprised me.
Oh, that's what I've heard. I want to watch it.
It surprised me how much I liked the first episode. I like cried in the first 5 minutes. I'm laughing, I'm crying, I'm having a good time. The cast is really sweet. It's like wholesome vibes.
Love that. That franchise needs wholesome vibes.
We needed a change of pace. We really did.
Yeah, so, I have a problem with crying, and Ami also has a exercise from her therapist to like cry before her next session. So maybe we should just like have a watch party, Ami.
Yeah, maybe I should wait.
Wait, you have a problem with crying as in like you can't cry or like you cry too much?
As in I don't cry. Like Ami told me to watch like the saddest like film, and I ended up like not crying. Okay, but tell us like what is it like being a little bit snarky on TikTok? Because sometimes like we create videos that are a little bit snarky and then the comments are just like so savage. But what is it like surviving the online world in 2023?
Honestly, it's great if you just ignore it. Like, I don't check my comments a lot. Like, I just like will post my shit and go, which is not good because I feel like I do need to start engaging with people. But like everyone who follows me, they're like, they'll comment. They'll literally be like, Olivia, I know you're not going to read this, but like, hey, girl. I'm just like, because they know I don't ever read my comments. But in terms of like being snarky, I don't know. I think I've had like fairly good luck because I feel like the people who follow me know my personality and they know that I'm not like an actual hateful person, and they know that I try to like toe the line between being nice but like also being honest. And if that ends up with me being snarky, then so be it. They'll laugh. So I think like at this point I've kind of gathered like a cute little, like I always call it like a little, like the people who follow me is like a sleepover. Like all my friends who
It
follow
is a
me, they know
sleepover
me,
vibe.
or like my friends. Yeah, it's like I just think that they like know my personality, so they don't take anything I say to like heart if it's like snarky or mean. The only time it gets bad is when like my videos do really well, so they end up on the For You page of other people, or like I've had my videos get posted on Twitter, which is like a whole other beast, which is insane. But like usually it's fairly good if it just stays contained to my little sleepover with my friends.
Yeah, one of my friends is also like, I would say she's a micro influencer, and she's like, honestly, if anything gets above like 300,000 views, it's like over. It's like a shit show in the comments, but when you can kind of like contain it, it's okay.
Yeah, if it's like just your people following you, it's good. But when it starts to get on the other page, like other people who don't know you, it's so bad. People are mean. Like they just like go for the jugular.
People are so mean. Yeah. They just know that there's no consequences because there's no consequences on the internet.
Literally. It's like actually I feel like they get like off on like being mean because like those comments get like the most likes. So they like feel more incentivized to be mean to you for no reason.
For no reason. Like I accidentally, when I was recruiting for a job, sent them the Joe and Sophie People article instead of my case presentation. And I like posted that. It was really funny. I thought it was like whatever, not a big deal. And someone commented, "Better luck next time. No way you're getting this job." And so many people liked it. And I was like, actually I got the job. So sucks to suck.
Oh my God. I remember I like when I was talking about the Don't Worry Darling drama from like last year. And I was like joking about like, oh my God, all the press surrounding it. And then the movie ended up kind of getting like mixed to negative reviews after it finally came out. And I remember I made a joke about it. And someone called, I guess it was like a Harry Styles fan. They were like, oh, they're like, you're really laughing at the fact that this movie got a negative review. What does that say about you? And I was like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like, who cares? It's a movie. Like, why are you taking it so personally? And then
these people are so rich and got paid anyway.
Literally. And then someone, I didn't even reply. Someone else replied for me. They're like, who cares? They're like, we don't know. Like, it's a movie. Like, why are you so upset? It's so strange.
Movies getting negative reviews is so commonplace. Like, that is nothing new, and you shouldn't be like worried about a movie getting negative reviews.
They're making it seem like I was a bad person for laughing that the movie got negative reviews, as if like the people working on it like didn't get paid or something. They're like, people put their blood, sweat, and tears into this movie, and you're laughing that it got a negative review. I'm like, these people still got paid and went home. Like it's fine. Like it's fine. Like they'll be okay.
And the movie was horrible.
Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde will be fine. Like it's okay. Relax.
Yeah. And how did you get into like, how did you find your niche of pop culture and fashion? Like growing up, were you always into like pop culture and fashion, and how do they like work together in your brain and in your life?
Oh, I've always been like a fashion kid, always been a pop culture kid. Like I have vivid memories of like being in the living room playing with like my Barbie dolls and brats, and I would have like E! News on or like Fashion Police with Joan Rivers. That would be playing. Like it was just always something I was really interested in. I would read like J14 magazine. I would have like the posters like all over my walls.
J14.
Kids don't know what they have. No, the young kids don't know.
J9.
You're missing out.
Literally, I know. I would have that all over my wall. I was constantly like just consuming content. So then like when I got older, I never thought I was going to be doing this. Like this happened so randomly. I never thought in a million years anyone would care or give a single fuck about what I have to say about anything. So when it happened, I was so surprised. Like when people would comment being like, talk about this. I like your voice. Talk about this. I'm like, really? Okay. We'll see where it goes then.
Sure.
I know.
Okay, so today, for everyone listening, we're talking about PR relationships, which I think is extremely in the news these days. I think it's always been actually, but especially given all of the Taylor Travis stuff, the Timmy Kylie stuff, it is more in the news than ever. So what would you guys say is like a PR relationship?
I would say it's a relationship, or like how most people see it. It's a relationship between two celebrities that is usually used to boost their profile and or a project that they are currently working on or is going to be released soon. I think that's how most people view it.
Yeah, it's like basically a relationship that is not real, that serves some purpose that sometimes I feel like we don't even understand. But it is doing something, and I'm sure that we'll figure it out.
I think it's just to drive some form of conversation. So Olivia, Emmy, and I were listening to this podcast, Fluently Forward. She's also on Instagram or TikTok. I'm sure you get her videos because I think your vibes cross.
Yeah, I've been on her podcast.
Oh, you have?
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We'll have to listen to that episode.
No, don't. It's bad. I'm just kidding. Anyway, what were you saying?
But she was basically saying how there's like 4 different types of reasons why someone would get in a PR relationship. And one of them is to like hide something. One of them is to like boost the relationship. I'm just going to read it up. I have the memory of a goldfish. Okay. Promote, distract, hide, or keep relevant. Do you feel like these 4 are kind of like the main types, or do you think there's another reason why someone would ever get into a fake relationship?
Let's see. Okay, she said promote, hide. What was the other one?
Distract.
And keep relevant.
I feel like those are kind of like the main ones that I can think of. Because I'm trying to think like to hide, there's always like the blind item rumors about like someone being in the closet and they don't want to come out. So that's why they have a fake relationship. Then to like promote, obviously, projects, stay relevant, of course. I kind of feel like she hit
Distract for sure.
Yeah, I kind of feel like she hit all the main ones.
Okay, I want to ask you both, what is like your favorite reason why someone would be in a PR relationship? Okay, so I love the like to hide aspect of it. I know, Olivia, you've been watching Ugly Betty, but I mean, have you watched Ugly Betty yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, but basically there's this gay man, Mark, on the show, and I love Mark. He's like my favorite character. And there's this episode where he basically has his like mom come visit from Connecticut, and she doesn't know that he's gay, and he's like the most obviously gay person ever. And he has like to pretend that he broke up with his like relationship / friend Amanda, who's like the most straight woman ever. And it is just so funny because she's obviously like his beard, and in a way they have their own little like PR relationship for his mom, and it's actually so cute, and they have a breakup, and then he has to date Betty, which is also really cute.
I think my favorite one, I kind of like how obvious like the promote one is. Like when we have 2 celebrities like trying to promote something. Like, do you guys know like the Jessica Chastain, Oscar Isaac, like on the red carpet, like him like rubbing up against her.
Video.
Right? It's like so, and everyone was like, ooh, are they, aren't they? Like he's married or she's with someone. Like, are they together? Are they not? Then we had, what was the other one this year? Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney. Like that whole drama of like, is he cheating on his girlfriend? Is she supposed to be engaged? Like, what are they doing? And it was so obvious, like, to promote their upcoming movie. But it was like, I don't know, it was like fun for the moment. Like, ooh, like what is going on over here? Like she's wearing his jacket in the Instagram. It's just like the little, I don't know. I just think it's funny how like people will like play into it, and he's like dipping her down. It's like so dramatic. It's so obvious. And I just think it's really funny.
Mine is actually distract, because I think it's like fun to play the game of like, what do we think the reasoning is behind this? I think I always play that game with any Kardashian news.
Yeah. They're always distracting.
Why did it come out? Always distracting. And I'm like, okay, what's going on?
I agree.
What do we think the signs of a PR relationship are? Like, when does it become like, okay, this is probably one?
I would say maybe it's when like I noticed like when you start seeing like J14, not J14, excuse me, Just Jared, or like these, what's it, Backgrid, when you start seeing like those
for sure,
when they call and you see those paparazzi shots, or when it's a celebrity who you like don't usually see out a lot, just like all of a sudden just like is everywhere for some reason. Like there are I think Pete Davidson is like a great example. Well, we can get into him later, but like you just all of a sudden just see him, like he's at the basketball game, he's here, he's there with this girl, that girl, that girl. It's just like, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yeah. For our audience, for sure, we should probably explain what Backgrid is. So is Backgrid a PR? Is it a paparazzi company? Do they only do like photography? Do they write? That's a good question.
I think it may just be like a paparazzi, like a company you can call to take pictures of you. And it usually, if the picture's from Backgrid, like, I want to say like 9 times out of 10, they've called.
Yeah, so for like the audience, if you're like reading a pop culture news article, usually they'll like credit whoever takes the photos, and if it's Backgrid, you can kind of assume that it was like kind of a PR stunt in a way, which is good to know. I would love to actually work at Backgrid. Let's get a disgruntled employee on the podcast and just spill all the tea
Yes.
because I bet they
Need
know
to know
all
the
the blind
tea.
items.
And then I know a lot of times they'll use like not even just like for PR. Well, yeah, I guess technically for PR, but like when a celebrity has to like clothing brands to wear something, they will call the paparazzi to get these stage street style shots, but it's like super clear and they've been paid to wear that to promote it. So I guess technically that is PR as
They're
well.
like smiling but looking a little bit away.
Yeah. They're like walking their dogs like elegantly with like little coffee.
As soon as I think of PR relationships and like backgrid photos or paparazzi pics, I just think of Sean and Camilla like walking with their coffee mug. Like that is seared into my brain. I will be 90 and senile and remember that like photo of just being like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
I still, that was so strange.
Who is taking a mug? Like, where's your travel tumbler? Like, make it somewhat realistic.
So in one of our past episodes, we kind of talk about how there's this idea of the classroom effect. So people are like kind of dating people that they would not necessarily date, but just because like you're exposed to them due to like the number of frequency that you're in the same room with them. Kind of like you falling in love with the class clown from like middle school, even though like it would never have worked in the real world. Like you've been exposed to them long enough that your brain starts thinking that they're cute. But essentially, like we usually see celebs date celebs, and some of them are PR relationships. But do you think like there's really kind of just that classroom effect with celebrities as well? Or do you think like for the most part, a lot of it is just PR?
I think that there is an element of like the classroom effect because I know I have made videos before, like jokingly being like, let's put this celebrity in like a PR relationship. Like think of someone who they could be with. It's fucking hard. Like it was hard for me to think about like who this person could date. I remember I did a video about like Normani. I was like, let's put her in a PR relationship. And I was like going through the list of like young Hollywood people to date. It was hard. Like it's a small, Hollywood is already small, but like
a small pool.
Young Hollywood is even smaller. And it was like hard for me to think of like, can I put her with her? No. Well, like, can I put her with him? No, because like she's friends with her and they dated and then they're connected to this. And it's just like a whole thing. And I remember I suggested one guy and someone in my comments was like, no, you can't put her with him because they dated back. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, everyone has already dated everyone. It's so weird. So I do think there's like an element.
Yeah, I think you have to like ignore past relationships unless they're like active best friends because otherwise it's impossible.
Literally, I remember I talked about like Jacob Elordi and it was like I was getting him because he was dating like Olivia Jade, but then he had also dated a different Olivia. And I'm like, everyone's connected to each other. And it's literally like the popular kids in high school, like the little group that would just date within the group. I'm like, I don't know. I can't keep up because like everyone also like vaguely looks similar to each other. I'm like, who the fuck is that one? Like, I'm like, this brunette tall guy is like with that blonde girl. And I'm like, they all look the same to me.
And I feel like at any given time, there are only like 5 popular guys and like 5 popular girls. So you have to pair them with someone who is in the limelight. And that's an even smaller pool. And they're probably already dating someone.
Right. And then you have to think about like these people have probably worked together. Do they even vibe? Like it's just, I don't know. I get why everyone
do they pretend to like each other.
Right. I'm like, I get why this like the dating pool is so small in Hollywood because I'm like, it's impossible, especially like when you're trying to date within the same age range.
Yeah.
Impossible. That's why you have to date like 10 years older or younger.
Right.
I guess.
That's why Leonardo DiCaprio always has a girlfriend because I'm like, the girls are trying to date up, like trying to get out of like the 25-year-old range. There's not many to pick from in that group. So they just date Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's a rite of passage.
Really? They're like, I'll do my time. Like as soon as I turn 25, I'm out of here. It's good.
Yeah.
We missed our opportunity, Emmy. We're too old to get in that 25 range for Leonardo.
28 is the new 25.
Do you guys think Leonardo DiCaprio is cute?
No.
Not anymore.
Okay, me neither.
Well, okay, we can like talk about him. He wasn't on our list, but we can talk about him. But like, I feel like there's been so many blind items about him being in the closet, and every single relationship that's like a hot young model is basically his beard. Like it's a PR relationship. That's what I supposedly heard. But at this point, like Leonardo DiCaprio dating a young model I feel like is no news anymore. Like you hear it and it's like, oh, whatever. Like I can't even remember the last person he dated that I'm just like, oh, he's dating this person.
I think the last person he was tied to was Gigi Hadid, which I really hated for her. I was like, Gigi, we're taking a step down. Like we got to regroup. Ew.
Was that recently? Like post baby?
Yeah. I think now he's moved on to like the supermodel Victoria something. But like he was with Gigi with
Yeah.
Gigi for a while.
I always know he's like, or I always just think he's with some supermodel, but I don't know their names, and they're like kind of all celeb adjacent,
Yeah.
essentially, to where I'm just like, okay. I fully forgot the Gigi thing, mostly because I was probably thought, what the fuck?
No, I
I'm
blocked it out of my
not
memory.
retaining this.
Like, I refused to accept it. I was like, Gigi, please. Like, it's gross. Stop.
No, that's for sure fake. That is for sure for shits and giggles at this point.
Yeah, and I loved how, like,
He
she
does
was
not even need it.
27 at the time, so, like, he was trying to beat the 25 allegations. He's like, I'll go up 2 years, okay? Like, everyone, you guys are, like, giving me lashings for only dating 25. I'll go up, okay, fine. I'll date a 27-year-old.
And he's getting so old that, like, what's it, like, plus or minus, no, not minus 5 years, but what's plus 5 years for him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, 25 to 30 should really be his range.
It should be, like, 40, but, like, he's like, oof, like, I don't know. A woman with, like, can think for themselves and is, like, established in their career, oof, I don't want that.
Not my
It's
type.
gross.
Yeah.
Recently, they have come out and said that you're not fully developed until you're 30. It's 30 now, and I'm like, totally,
I believe it.
Literally, I was about to say, I believe that. I'm like, I still feel like I'm 16. Like, I don't know.
So we're all just babies, and he needs to stop.
Yeah, literally, we're literally children. Like, you guys, it's gross now, Leo. Stop.
Okay, should we get into our couples that we want to talk about that we think may or may not be PR relationships? Let's start with Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. What are our thoughts around this situation? We cannot escape it. It is everywhere.
I think it's a little from column A, a little from column B. I think for me, I'm leaning more toward column A, as in it's giving, if it's not PR, I think they have to know that it's a boost for both of them. Like, I know a lot of people have been talking about, like, what does Taylor get out of it? She doesn't need PR. She doesn't, but that doesn't mean she's above, like, wanting to, like, promote herself. She has a movie coming out, like the Eras Tour movie, all of her re-recordings. I'm like, it's not, she doesn't need it, but it doesn't mean that she wouldn't do it.
Also, Taylor loves PR. I don't think she's the type to be like, no, it's too much. Like, give someone else an opportunity. Like, the more the better for her.
And all of the girl dinner pictures, everyone's like, all the paparazzi just follow Taylor around. It's like, no, dude, she's called them. You did not get that perfect picture of her and Sophie walking out of the restaurant, arm in arm.
I need people to let go of this idea that, like, Taylor, you know what bugs me? Okay, about some of her stands. Because, like, they go back and forth between, like, thinking that she's, like, the smartest businesswoman in the world. Everything she does is, like, very well thought out. She's so strategic. But then also, she's just, like, a little baby girl who doesn't know anything. And everything's an accident. And she doesn't plan anything. It's like, which one is it? Like, she's has to be, like, she's either thinking things through or she's not.
So true. Yeah, if you say she's, like, thinking, they're like, no, she's a baby. But if you say, like, oh, it's just happening to her, then they'll be the opposite. Like, they never want to
And, like, they'll flip depending on whatever suits their narrative at the time. But, like, Taylor's a very smart woman. Like, I don't think anyone thinks she's an idiot. She's definitely calling paparazzi. I think she knows how things look. The whole, like, Sophie Turner dinner linked in the arms. I'm like, that's not an accident.
No.
I mean, like, because we saw, like, when she made the choice to take a step back, we didn't see her. Like, she knows how to hide if she wants to. The fact that we're seeing her this much means that she wants to be seen. So, like, it's not an accident. She's calling paparazzi. And she likes it. Like, I think she does like, I've always said I think Taylor really does like to be famous. I think in her Miss Americana documentary, she said that she really likes, like, the head pats from the critics and, like, the awards. Like, I think she likes being adored in the way that, like, fame brings you. And I think the Eras Tour and being, like, on stage every night and just seeing the crowd just go crazy for her, I think it has invigorated her love of being famous again. So, like, now she wants to be out and about all the time, be seen all the time. I'm a little worried that we're going to get into, like, the overexposure area where we're going to, like, revert back to, like, 2017 and 2016 where everyone was like, I'm so fucking sick of seeing her, get her out of my face, especially with, like, this NFL thing where, like, now the football fans are, like, so irritated being like, I came here to watch the game, quit putting the camera onto her and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. I don't give a fuck. Like, I think it's getting to the point where people are starting to get irritated again with having to see her all the time and her just, like, her name being attached to everything. Because, like, even with, like, the Joe and Sophie divorce, her name is attached to that because she's going out with Sophie and she's, like, out with Patrick Mahomes' wife Brittany. I'm like, okay, it's a bit much. I think people are starting to get irritated. So I'm a little worried that she's going to reach overexposure again, but we'll see.
I think she's the benefit of the next leg starting soon.
That's true. Yeah. What is y'all's opinions on, like, I know we're off topic, but, like, Olivia Rodrigo? Do you believe there's a feud or not between those two, or, like, a beef?
Oh, I don't think there's like a big beef, but I think Olivia is distancing herself for sure.
Yeah, I also think Taylor's team may have bullied Olivia's team a little bit. I think Olivia has a hard time getting Olivia out of like anyone's spotlight. Like they're really trying to make Olivia like her own person and her own like pop star moment. And I think like distancing herself from Taylor is like their strategy. So I don't know if there's like some big beef going. Also, what is Taylor like doing beefing with like how old is Olivia Rodrigo?
She's
like
19,
Yeah.
20, something like that.
Like that would be
Really young.
sad if there was actual beef, honestly. But I think it is a PR move.
Yeah, for sure. There's something going on there. I just don't know what it is. I'm gonna figure it out one day. But like the way they like at the award shows, they don't even interact with each other anymore. It's just like like a complete 180 to how it was in the beginning. I'm like something had to have happened. I think it's like the copyright thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe like not necessarily those two like together, but more so like teams behind them probably like started like some tension between the two of them. Do you guys think it was strategic or like shade that Taylor brought on Sabrina Carpenter for the tour?
Oh, I love Sabrina Carpenter.
Me too.
And I just refuse to believe that Taylor cares enough about 20-year-old drama to feed into it.
Yeah. I also feel like this is what I read. So Sabrina is only joining for the like Latin America leg of the tour, right? I hear she has like a really big fan base in Latin America. And also, I just, not that it's above Sabrina, but like I just don't see Olivia Rodrigo opening for someone. Like I don't think that's the move that her team is trying to make, but I think Sabrina's team isn't quote unquote like above that, and I think it's a good move for Sabrina for sure. Like she's not as big as Olivia. Like I think that's just facts right now.
True.
The Olivia Sabrina feud always like just irked me. I just don't even understand why
people
that
remember that
happened.
No one, I feel like we talk about it, but like no one else remembers.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time because I'm just like, I hate this. This was so freaking stupid.
You're like, this is my Roman Empire. Like everyone gather around when we talk about this.
It is. I'm always trying to be like, should we do an episode about it? And it's like, no, because no one cares.
Yeah, I don't think anyone cares anymore.
Okay, let's move on to our next one. So Pete Davidson and anybody. So right now, I think he is reportedly linked to Madeline Klein. What do we think? Do we think this is a PR stunt at this point? Backgrid,
PR.
Pete Davidson,
PR.
like it's the same shit.
Is Madeline about to be in something? Like it must be a keeping relevant situation. That's what I think.
I think his last relationship, it was like Chase Swee, an actress. She was in Bodies. I think that had to have been real because they were together like quietly for like a year. Actually, I think they like kind of like went under the radar.
Whoa.
So I think that relationship was real, but like this Madeline Klein shit, I'm like, okay. The Kim stuff, I'm like, okay. I don't believe it. I think at this point, I think everyone has seen like the memes and jokes about like, oh my God, Pete Davidson gets with like the hottest woman in Hollywood. I think all of the women know it. They want to get involved and like, oh, Pete Davidson picked me. Like I'm one of the hot girls in Hollywood. I think Madeline or her team knows that. So I don't believe that relationship at all.
Yeah.
This might be mean, but I feel like, so his actual type isn't super hot woman. It's not. So I almost feel like if they're too hot, if it's like too hot for Pete, it's like for sure a PR relationship for me. Like that's my take.
I could see that. Like Emily Ratajkowski, I'm like, okay.
No fuck. Although her husband or her ex-husband, he's a rat. Well. He's a little ratty.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But like Emily, she gives me like, she's constantly doing pap walks. So I think that was like a short-lived little like boost after her divorce. She was like, oh my God, I'm hot and desirable. I'm with like the hottest guy in Hollywood just to get attention. I don't believe that thing was real. The Kim, that was so random.
So random. It was like so random that for like a second it had me thinking like maybe, but no way.
But like also maybe it was real because then he got like her fucking kids' initials tattooed on him.
That was fucked.
Okay. That was insane.
So maybe it was real. But he gets like anything tattooed.
Anything.
And he can cover that shit up easily.
How did like Pete's team build up a brand as like, this is the guy you use for a PR relationship? Like who made the strategic decision?
Ariana put him on the map. Like she deserves compensation for the work that she did for him in his career. I swear to God. Cause like when she came out and was like, oh my God, his like penis is big and like he's so hot. And like she just talked him up so much that like now everyone was like, ooh, maybe I should call Pete Davidson. Like, I don't know, maybe I should hit him up. So I feel like she did so much work for his brand and his image. I feel like ever since that breakup, he's been in high demand. Like he's been constantly dating. Like after Ariana, it was like Kaya
Mm-hmm.
Gerber. Then it was who was after that? I don't know. He's been like dating like a string.
Yeah, so many
Kate
people.
Beckinsale. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like just a string of women after Ariana.
Yeah, it's actually crazy how many people he's dated that are just high profile people.
To your point, I mean, like the tattoo, there's so many, like he's gotten tattoos covered up, removed at this point. Like him professing his like a love for someone on a tattoo means nothing to me. You have not committed to them at all.
He seems like a huge love bomber.
For
I think he also
sure.
has like attachment issues, I'm sure, because all these people are just using him.
Yeah, like his ex-girlfriend like talks about like, or like it was Cassie David he was with for like a long time, and like he just like left her to be with Ariana, and like he's talked about in interviews like he has bipolar and like all of these mental disorders. So like I think he definitely does love bomb, and I think what makes him so appealing is that like he's like, I'm like the fun guy, I'm like, I'm not very threatening, so like I feel like more women are like inclined to be with him like for like a good time, like even if it is PR. I think a lot of women are like, okay, whatever, fuck it, I'll fuck around with Pete Davidson and like have a good time, and like he'll make me laugh, and then after like my contract is up, I can go on about my day and just like move on with my life. I think like he is probably like a really good PR boyfriend because he's like chill, make you laugh. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's as much of a misconception these days, but the fact that like PR relationships are so forced, it's like, no, these people like are probably semi-friends. They like each other enough to hang out. Like they could be having fun, even if it is PR.
That's how I felt about like Kylie and Timothy. I'm sure we'll get into that, but like it threw me off at first, but then when I thought about it, I was like, it's not that crazy when you think about it, because I'm like, they're in the same social circle. Timothy, I don't know why you guys think he's like some intellectual, like he's the next Da Vinci. I'm like, you guys are insane. Like he's not. I'm
because
like,
he's French.
Timmy Tim doing the Dougie on stage singing Nicki Minaj in a pink wig. I'm like, he's not this like fucking savant.
So goofy.
I'm like, I'm like, you guys think like Kylie's like too intellectually dumb to keep up with him. I'm like, what has made you guys think that he's like so smart because he has a French sounding last name? I'm like, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like he is a really good actor, but he also plays like similar roles.
Yeah.
So is he just playing himself but a smarter version? Like we'll never know.
I'm like, you guys, he watches like a couple of Wes Anderson movies. I'm like, he's not like, calm down. Like it's not like he's not like that big of a deal. Like everyone talks about him like Kylie can't keep up with him intellectually. She's such dumbass. She's an idiot. I'm like, is she? Like maybe she's smarter than we all think. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We don't actually even know.
Literally.
I think she's funny and fun. And he's probably like goofy and whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
and trying to just stay relevant.
And like Kylie has said before, like she has stopped showing her personality because she felt judged as a kid. So I'm like, for all we know, like maybe she is like really, I don't know, into like obscure indie movies. I remember someone actually found like an old interview from Travis Scott talking about Kylie, and he was like, Kylie's so much different than people think. And he actually said in the interview like she's super into Wes Anderson movies. I'm like, well, there you go. Maybe her and Timothy actually are a great match. You guys just don't know.
That's crazy. Okay, thinking about Kylie and Travis Scott, do we think that was PR, like in the continuation? I think at the beginning they probably were just like hooking up and then she got pregnant. And then post that, was it just kind of a let's try to make this work for the sake of our child and also to boost us?
I don't think that was PR. I think that was real, but like only real because all the Kardashian women hate to like have like they want all their kids by the same guy. So like they will stay in a relationship that's like not real or like actually functioning just so they can say all their kids by the same dad. They have some weird complex about that. I think it's maybe because they grew up in like a blended family.
Yeah, it's actually so weird because it's like, what are you guys saying about Kylie and Kendall then?
Right. That's always thrown me off. I'm like, why do you guys? But I think it's like maybe because of Caitlyn Jenner, where like she had like kids over here that they never saw, but like kind of saw. Yeah. So like they just hated like the conflict there. So like now they want all their kids by the same dad and like in the same place. But like I think that relationship was definitely, I don't think they were together like in like a real monogamous relationship the way maybe they portrayed. Because like they did that interview where they're like, oh, it's like
the dog one.
Is it? Oh, I forgot.
Was it the dog one where they ask like, Oh, Travis, what are Kylie's dogs' names? He can't name a single
No,
one.
not that one. I think it was like it was a spread in like W magazine, I think. And I think it got scrapped because the Astro World happened, so they pulled it and it never came out. But it got leaked, and like in the interview, it was like, yeah, we're like a modern family because like we're not together, but like we still love each other. And so everyone was like, so you're a baby mama is what it is. Like you're trying to rebrand it to make it sound better than like, oh, it's like modern and cool. And like it's nothing like you're just a rapper's baby mama. Like, welcome to the club, girl. Like it's nothing new. So I think they weren't like really together in the way that they said. Oh, do you guys think Kendall and Benito, Bad Bunny, do you guys think that's real?
Okay.
God, I don't. But I want it to be.
I don't think it's real. But I've also heard blind items that she is like in the closet, which I can see. And I would love that for her. I feel like Kendall gives off that vibe, and I want that for her. But I also feel like every time I see them together, they're like at a game or something. Like it's very obvious that they're like chummy together, and I feel like Kendall is very secretive and quiet and protective of her like private life, so anything that she shares, I'm almost like skeptical of her.
I know. I was actually really fond of her and Devin Booker. I thought they were like really cute together. I'm like, Kendall, out of all of you little like light-skinned basketball players, I'm like, this one seems cool. Like I kind of like Devin, but then they broke up. And I'm like, the Bad Bunny one, that relationship came out of nowhere, and they're doing campaigns together. I saw they were in the new Gucci, I think it's Gucci or Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, the Gucci campaign.
Yeah. They're in the campaign together, and I'm like, is this a real relationship, or is it like more of like a mutually beneficial, like you're hot, I'm hot, we're both single, we can also make money from this, so let's just hang out kind of a situation?
I just want to be able to get into the like back end meeting of like PR teams brainstorming, like who makes a list, what is the matrix of how they pick who to like go after. Is it hotness 1 through 5, scandals 1 through 5, and then like relevancy 1 through 5? Like what is the criteria? I need to know.
I think on this one they were like, who's not a basketball player? Like,
right?
We have to get her out of this realm.
The bars
like she already has her starting 5. Like let's move on.
Like who's not a basketball player, but like also someone who's like not white. Like Kendall loves her a little like, you know, person of color adjacent. Like she loves her a little like, like a little light skin, like, oh, a little black and white basketball player. So Bad Bunny was like, he's not white. He's like, ooh, like a little different. So she was like, oh my God, okay, we'll try this.
That video where they're like looking at a squirrel and he calls her like
mommy.
I was like, man, I want this to be real. I don't think it is, but that's so fun for her.
Yes, I love that video. He was like, mommy. She's like, what, the rabies or something? And he's like, no, mosquitoes.
It was so funny.
The last couple that I want to ask you guys about, is Nick and Priyanka Chopra, because there's so many rumors of them being a PR couple. But I also want to ask, like, how far do PR relationships take it? Like, people are always like, oh, they're not a PR couple because they have kids. Like, do we think that's true? And like, what does kids like do with like PR relationships? Like, is that ethical in a way? Like, should we be bringing kids into a PR relationship?
Okay. Well, like when it comes to kids, I don't think people get married for PR reasons. I think that's a bit much. But I will say I think people utilize kids when it comes to PR. Like I know a lot of athletes, like these guys that brand themselves as like the family man, those motherfuckers cheat like crazy. Well, like all athletes cheat. Like we know that. It's like this part of like the starter pack when it comes to being a professional athlete. But a lot of them, like when you read like rumors and blind items, like the guys that like really brand themselves like family man, like I love my kids, they get the most brand deals because like they're family friendly. So they know that benefits them, but like behind the scenes, cheating all the time. So I think people do utilize kids for PR reasons. I just don't know if like people, I don't know. It would be a lot to like get married just for PR. I'm not saying it's not possible.
Surrogate child.
Right? It's a lot.
Child via surrogate. I think maybe they started as one, but then actually liked each other and fell in love.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because it has gone like really far.
Yeah, like
in a way where I no longer think it is.
When they first got together, I was just like, very similar to Timmy and Kylie. I'm just like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. But then also, question for you, Ami. Like, Priyanka is from an Indian background. Indian culture typically, like, leads into having, like, arranged marriages. Where I think it's, like, within your culture to kind of be, okay, like, marry someone just for, like, other reasons other than love marriages. Do you think, Priyanka is kind of predisposed to like following through with a PR relationship because she comes from this background?
I almost want to say that because she's a celebrity, it's like more in the opposite way of she probably feels like she doesn't have to like go all the way, which is also why I think like once it got that far, it was no longer a PR relationship. Because in a way, it's like, yes, it's culturally like normal and everything, but I don't know, I just don't see a lot of like Bollywood celebs in arranged marriages, so I just don't that it is for her.
Also, if it's PR, I don't. When did they get together? Do you guys know? I don't remember what year they got together.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, but I'm like, what clout does like Nick Jonas have for Priyanka to take? Because
I think it was just like being kind of in Hollywood, but she was already in Hollywood. She had Quantico. I want to say it was around whenever he released Jealous. It was they got together in 2016, right?
I think like that's peaked though. So right now he is a little irrelevant, I would say. But also,
I mean, I feel like the Jonas Brothers comeback is like fueled by nostalgia.
Yeah,
for sure.
I wonder who's more famous out of the two of them, like globally. Like if you asked like outside of America, that's what I'm saying. So I'm like,
why she doesn't need him?
That's what I'm saying.
And even in the U.S., I think she is more relevant these days.
Because I'm like, if it's PR, I'm like, okay, if you're thinking PR for her, I would like put her with someone like, I don't know, like a fucking Bradley Cooper or like a Chris Evans sort of like traditionally Hollywood like A-list actor. That would make more sense to me. Yes. But like Joe Jonas.
The musician angle is weird.
Okay, Nick to me always seems like her little like kid brother in a way. I don't know if it's like the height difference, but to me, like she seems like a very mature woman, and he's just a little kid in a rock band. That's my.
I mean, he is much younger than her.
Yeah.
Like what? I don't know, 10 years, but I think it's a little bit under 10 years.
I think maybe that's why I threw everyone off because it just looked like, really? Okay, wouldn't have thought of that.
And who did Nick date before her?
I think wasn't it Olivia Culpo?
Oh, yeah.
I think he was with Olivia Culpo. He wrote Jealous about her. I think that was about her.
Damn. Okay. Because he always says, like, I'm into the older women. But is Olivia older than him?
I don't think so. Right? I don't think so. I think they're around the same age.
Because he really touts the, like, I love older people. Or, like, older women now.
Well, you have to because you're married to one.
Yeah.
With kids. Okay, to wrap us up, Olivia, we have some fire rapid PR relationship PR questions for you. So just spitball like whatever comes to your mind. Okay, first one. If you were a celebrity and needed to be in a PR relationship, who would you request to boost your brand?
Michael B. Jordan.
Ooh, that's such a good one.
Because I'm like, I think he's single now from like Lori Harvey. She's with someone else. I'm like, let's be with Michael B. Jordan. Why not?
He gives off like class to me. Like there's no scandals tied to him. He's really respected in his industry. Tall and really good looking. And he has consistent movies coming out, I think. Like he's always in the news, but not like too in the news.
I think he's like
he's not too in the news.
Right. He's like a solid level of fame to where it's like he's not like too out there that it would seem super fake. But yeah, I'd pick him.
And he seems genuine, which I mean, it could be an act, but I'm going to believe it.
No, I'll choose to believe it. Fine.
Okay, next question. Who do you think Kim should date next?
Kimberly. I don't know. Kim is a tough one because like it depends on what she's trying to do. Because she can really confuse me in terms of like her brand and like where she's headed. Because it's like I kind of feel like she has ditched the whole like prison reform thing. Like she's I don't think she passed the bar to be a lawyer. I don't know if she failed the test or she hasn't taken the test. It's just kind of like on the back burner now. We haven't really heard much with that. Because like when she was going that route, I thought maybe she could date like, I don't know, some political activist that's like sort of like semi-famous, but that does like the political pundit sort of thing. I think that would be a good match for her when she was doing that. But like now, I think she's like rumored.
She's like doing that lightly, but not really.
I think now the rumor is that she's dating Odell Beckham Jr., the football player, which is super. I'm like, we're going back to athletes, Kim? All right. I mean, she hasn't been with an athlete since Reggie Bush, which is wild.
I think she needs to go like the businessman type of direction.
But like who? Like Elon Musk? I would kill myself. Like I'm sorry. Like I would
no way.
die.
She wouldn't even do that.
I would die. and she was with Elon, I would like, oh my
Who's a
God.
hot businessman? I can't think of a single one.
Oh, there was like that guy, but I think he's married to Miranda Kerr, the Victoria's Secret model. He was like the
the
founder of like
Snapchat
Snapchat,
guy.
and he was like
Yeah.
semi-young,
Oh, Evan.
cute-ish.
Yeah, but he's not that cute.
No, I can't think of like any cute young guys that she could date.
What about like I think like Trevor Noah would just be fun. But is he dating anyone? Is he still dating what's her face?
Minka
The
Kelly?
Friday Night Lights girl, yeah.
I don't know if they're still together, but last time I heard he was with Minka Kelly.
Yeah, they were together.
I don't
Because
know.
talk show is like toes the line of pop culture, but like also news.
That's
and I
true.
think that would be a good way to differentiate her.
Yeah, he makes sense, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no.
But yeah, there's no other talk show host that she could get with. So it'd literally have to be Trevor. So she has to
I
cut
feel
Minka
like
Kelly.
it should be like a foreign businessman, like someone from Dubai.
Yeah. Do you guys remember when Rihanna dated like the Saudi
Yes.
prince? Someone like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
But those people would never want to be as famous as she is, which is also an issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because they have to be okay with being kind of popular, or, like kind of shown.
Yeah, I think Kim's like whole thing, she has to be with someone that's like okay with like doing pap walks and like staging.
Yeah.
Because I saw, oh my God, have you ever seen like her stage pap walks with like Pete Davidson? Like they were outside of like the filming studio and they're like walk. I'm like, oh my God, it's like she
Who
has
walks
to date
like
someone
that?
who it was so awkward. Like Pete's kind of like I don't know.
And like even the Met Gala pics where Pete's like, how many pics do we have to take? Like they have to be fine with Kim taking 7,000 pictures a day.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So it has to be someone famous, but like also someone that like, not someone famous, someone rich, but like someone okay with wanting to be in the spotlight.
Yeah. Which is super tough.
But like also someone that like can't compete with her. Because I don't know if she really wants to compete for the spotlight. Because I don't know if she enjoyed being Kanye's like, well, no, she did. She did like being his plus one. I don't know.
But
I
that
think
time,
that's because
though,
it
she
helped
was-
her
yeah.
at the beginning.
She wasn't
Yeah,
as big.
that's true.
I
But then
think,
towards the end, I don't think she liked it.
yeah,
That's
that was
true.
a genius pairing, though. Like, I still think about that. I think she's still
What,
thinks
Kanye
about
and
that.
I think that
Yeah.
was real though, because Kanye
for
was
sure.
obsessed with her.
Yeah, that was real. I think that was like a mutually like symbiotic relationship for that time where it's like Kanye loves like a muse and to like make a woman. I think he like with Amber Rose, he did it. And then when he saw Kim, it was like she was like the pinnacle of like sexiness to him. She's like, I'm going to build her up to be like my muse. And Kim loved it. She eats that shit up. She loves to be adored.
Yeah, loves. Do you think Chloe and Tristan are back together?
Yes, and I hate it.
I like refuse to believe it, but I think so too, and I'm like sad for her and scared.
They're
for
so
her.
back together. Because did you just see? Oh, this happened yesterday. But like Tristan's first baby mama, I think her name is Jordan. Her sister said something.
I saw that this morning.
Yes, she said because like Kim was like, I guess he's on the show, Tristan, and Kim was talking about like, oh, I'm cool with Tristan because like he's so nice and he takes my kids to school and like I just see what a good guy he is. And so Jordan's sister was like, he's a good guy. Like he hasn't even seen his other fucking kids. Like you're like putting him on a pedestal for like being this great guy taking care of your kids. Meanwhile, he's just completely abandoned his own children.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. And I think that family, they're so far up his ass. Because I think, first of all, that family, they give way more grace to men than they would ever give to women. And so I think like with Tristan, he kind of has to like suck on the teat of the Kardashian complex. Because like he doesn't have it, like he's not a top tier basketball player.
No.
I think his career is winding down, and like he's already, when he had like the whole baby mama scandal, he was like, I'm running out of money. I don't have money to pay for this. So like he has no choice but to like be a part of the family. He's like another Scott basically, because like Scott, what the fuck is Scott's job? Does anyone know? Does anyone know what Scott does?
It's just to be an influencer essentially at this point.
His whole job is just to be a part of the family. So like Tristan is transitioning into like another Scott, where it's like no matter what he does, he's always going to be a part of the family, and like they're obsessed with him because like that's his job basically.
Yeah.
Well, Olivia, this has been so fun. Obviously, there's so much to talk about for PR relationships. I feel like we could have talked for like another 3 hours. But thank you so much for joining. How can our listeners find you?
You guys can follow me on TikTok at Olivia Lane 6. I don't have the link in the bio right now, but I'll put it back. But I have a podcast if you want to follow me there. But also Twitter if you want to follow me. It's all there in my bio. But yeah, you guys can just follow me and see me talk about stupid bullshit all the time if you would like.
Love that. What's your podcast called?
Oh, it's called Olive Juice Podcast.
I love that. That's so cute.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
Thanks so much for listening. You can follow us on all social media at Clown Vibes Podcast or email us at clownvibespodcast@gmail.com.
And if you like our show and want to support us, please like, subscribe, and give us a rating and review. That's it for today. Bye, clowns.
Bye, clowns.